What's up, you guys? It's Sir Scrub here, bringing you some more Scrub Tier Yu-Gi-Oh! In today's video, we're going to be updating the True Draco Invoked deck for the March 2019 format. Before we get into today's video, shameless plug, pluggy plug, plug, comment, like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. You guys know how this goes. Let's get into this. I ain't got time for all this. Starting off. Yeah. No, I'm playing. 1 copy of Dynamite Knight, 3 copies of Ignis Heat. You guys know how this works. It's standard in all True Draco decks. We don't have to mess around. You guys know what this stuff does. You've seen this before. Standard cards. If you've watched my deck profiles before, you guys know that I will swear by Draco III. I love this card. If you're not playing the stun variant of this deck, it is imperative for maintaining card economy. And I just like the card. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a little personal bias for me. I think he looks cool. I love the fact that he kind of is more of a support card than anything else. He's one of my favorite cards in the archetype. He is a 3100 wall. He does provide all of your other True Dracos with targeting protection. And he does float the first time he would be destroyed. You know, a little synergy with Diagram. So, there's that. He's an amazing card. I love it. It's personal bias. You can play him or not play him. It's whatever. Oh, moving on from the True Dracos. We have the 2 copies of Alistair the Invoker. Rip, poor me, with 1 secret and 1 super. He's he's the backbone of the Invoked engine. He's what makes everything go for the Invoked engine. He's imperative for it, excuse me. When he's normal summons, he searches out Invocation, the fusion spell, excuse me, straight from the deck, allowing you to instantly go into fusion summons, and then he puts himself back into your hand in order for you to do it all again next turn. Now, beyond Alistair, the rest of the monsters in this deck are what I call the you went second, now you have to survive package. Because this deck in the current metagame really doesn't go second very well. But beyond that, they do have uses when you go first, and that being the newly budget Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I never thought I'd be so proud to own a common in my life. Ash Blossom is an amazing card. It's deserved its price point for the last, I don't know how long. It's an amazing card. Anytime your opponent interacts with the deck, you can just say no to it for free. Beyond that, it gets you a fire monster in your graveyard to make Purgatrio with. And it's a hand trap. It's disruption. You can never have too much disruption in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! We follow that up with 3 copies of Budget Impermanence in order to stop all of those important monsters and get you a light monster in the graveyard, to where in this deck I'm poor, so I prefer this over Impermanence. No, I'm playing. Seriously though, this is a light monster, and you do prefer the light monster in the grave to make Mechaba with, because without Infect Veiler, this deck has no main deck way of making Mechaba, and that's kind of like the whole point, so we play Veilers. Next, I'm also choosing to play 2 copies of Gameciel the Sea Turtle Kaiju. Flat Flap Turtle here is really great at getting rid of hard to out and hard to deal with monsters. Just simply tributing the fuck over it. Can deal with Colossus, it can shut down Sky Strikers, deal with Guard Dragon boards. It's insane how much work Kaiju's put in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And I love that, because I have secret rare Flap Flaps, so I love it. But beyond that, it also gives you a water monster engraved to make Cocytus with, which is one of my favorite invoked monsters just because it's a simple wall. And the last monster we play is another personal favorite of mine, but it does work for what we need it to do. I'm playing 2 copies of Eater of Millions. Now, the reason I'm playing Eater of Millions is because this deck dies to Colossus, and we have to deal with Colossus. That, and there's plenty of monsters to banish out of your extra deck, to where you always have ways to summon Eater of Millions, and it's instant removal to anything on the field. And it can just be one of those monsters that's surprisingly difficult to deal with. Like, you don't want to waste a Kaiju on an Eater of Millions when you have Mechaba sitting next to it, or a Rajdin, or whatever, you know? But then if you deal with the rest of the board, now you have to deal with this Eater of Millions, so you can't exactly push for damage because it's just going to banish your guy. So it's an amazing card, and it promotes some really cool interactions and some pretty cool mind games. But that's it for the monsters. Now let's go ahead and move into the spell cards. So of course, the best card in the deck, 3 copies of Dragonic Diagram. Diagram is the oil that makes this entire car move. It is what you need to grease your hinges. This is the WD-40 of the deck for all you Southerners out there. As you guys know, you fix it with WD-40 and some duct tape. And this is WD duct tape all in one. It's exactly what you need. As long as Diagram is legal, you need to play it in this deck. I cannot stress it enough. Best card in the deck, centerpiece of it. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think I need to jerk this thing off anymore. Moving on, we have 1 copy of Magical Meltdown. This turns the entire Invoked engine into a 1-card engine. Simply seeing this card can kickstart the whole thing, opening up all sorts of new lines of play. It also provides protection to your fusion monsters. So there are some situations where you want to activate your Meltdown, go off with your Invoked plays, and then you can later on override it with Diagram and just go off like that. But you want to keep it alive just long enough to protect your fusion monsters. So there is some pretty interesting counterplay there with your field spell control. Speaking of field spell control, I'm playing 1 copy of Terraforming and 1 copy of Set Rotation, just to help floodgate out some of the rogue matchups, the True Draco Mirror match. Trick Stars can also make a Sky Striker player's life difficult. There's a surprising amount of decks that Set Rotation can help screw over. And, you know, worst case scenario, it gives you 1 more card if you get evenly matched. So that's it for what I call the field spell engine. Now let's go and move into the rest of the back row. Starting off the typical True Draco package, I've decided to bump these up to 3 just because, why not? I needed cards to play. I needed to hit that 40 card limit. You can cut these down to 2 and play whatever else you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of neutral, playing at whatever ratios you like. You guys know what these cards do. They're backbone. Their instant back row removal, it's so easy to generate advantage with these cards, it's insane. Moving on, what I do want to talk about though is I'm also playing 2 copies of Instant Fusion. Now the reason I'm playing Instant Fusion at 2 copies is because, well, there's no main deck way to make Rajdin. So what you do is you Instant Fusion 1 out, make a Link monster with it, and then you can banish the one you Instant Fusioned out of the graveyard to make a second one. So it does give you an extra body on board in that aspect, and it does give us access to Rajdin since I'm not playing Majesty's Maiden. Because you really don't want to banish your True Dracos for your Invoked Fusion monsters. So there's that. Now, get ready for the assault of the one-ofs, because here we go. 1 copy of Invocation. Necessary for the Invoked engine. You only need it at 1 because without Alistair it's dead. So therefore you don't want it clogging your hand up. This is the garnet of the entire deck. 1 copy of Metalfoes Fusion. This turns Diagram into Engage. So yeah, it turns Diagram into a +1 outright. Just 1 copy of Stormforth. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't feel like trading or buying more of these, so I'm only playing it at 1. You can cut the 2 Eater Amelias for 2 more. You can cut your True Draco back row for 2 more if you got them. Be my guest. That is certainly the more optimal way to play the deck. I just didn't feel like dealing with all that because I've only got 1 copy. Not going to lie. It's an amazing card. It turns all of your True Draco monsters into Kaijus. It's back at 3. Play it if you got it. I just didn't feel like getting them. Moving on. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. This gives you another body on board. It can revive a Rajdin you made with Instant Fusion to give you 2 disruptions. It can snatch a good card you Kaiju'd off out of your opponent's graveyard. There's just so much you can do with this card. It's insane, and I love it for that. Next, 1 copy of Slash Draw. Now, I know you guys looked at me like I was insane when I had 3 of it in my last video, and then it got limited because my life sucks. Excuse me. Beyond that, I still swear by this card. This card will forever be a staple in True Draco to me, just simply for the fact that it's generic recyclability. It lets you put your diagrams back in the deck. It lets you put your hand traps back in the deck. It lets you reset your deck and keep going. So in that way, it's a pseudo extender. It's not like it furthers your plays, but it allows you to continue out your grind game. And that's why I love Slash Draw. That, and it does technically let you draw a card, so it can help you fix your hands, but that's not really what we're using it for. I will say this, you really don't want to see this early game though. This is good when you're in the middle of a grind game and you're starting to run out of gas. That's what this card is really, really good for. And that's why for me it will always be a staple in this deck from now on. The last spell card I'm playing is one copy of Card Destruction. This is a free slot. It can be whatever the hell you want it to be here. I just put Card Destruction here because why the hell not? Fixes dead hands. It can potentially screw up an opponent's hand. It's a cool card. Nostalgia boner. I love it. It's a fantastic card. It is what it is. Put whatever you want there. And the last card in our 40 card main deck is the one copy of True King's Return. Return is what Return is. I don't think I need to explain this card to you guys. That's it for the main deck. Now let's go ahead and get into the extra deck, and then I'll get the hell out of you guys' life. Okay. So, rapid fire time. One copy of Borlo Dragon, best link for in a game. If you got it, play it. If you don't, don't. One copy of Summon Sword, cheap now thanks to Silver Fusion Special Edition. It's not necessary. I like it for one bow combos because I'm a scrub. Say what you will. Decode Toker, OTKs out the ass. Great link points. Underclock Taker. This is the most used card in your extra deck. It's a generic link to the points down. Enough said. Proxy Dragon. This is extra link arrows. Again, the only link monsters you need are Decode Talker and Underclock Taker. Everything else is extra in my opinion. You can also play the Alistair link monster. It's a fantastic card, but do what you want. One copy of Mechaba because I'm poor and don't own anymore. Two copies of Rajden, as I explained earlier, in Instant Fusion 1 out. One copy of Cocytus. This is an untargetable, undestructible 2900 wall. And it's a super heavy samurai, so it can still attack. And never have to come out of defense mode. I love it. It's one of my personal favorites. Purgatrio. Death. Elysium. You are never going to summon this, so banish it for Eater of Millions. And then Volcasaurus. This is how you win in time. This is all standard stuff. I really don't think the extra deck has changed since I last updated you guys. But that's all I've got for this one, you guys. This is my updated True Draco Invoked deck for the March 2019 format. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more like it. Let me know how stupid I am down in the comment section below. Yada, yada, yada. Plug, 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 plug. Most importantly, don't forget,